Hello everyone and welcome to the third and final round of the 2024 Discraft's Cascade Challenge. Playing for the hatchet. It's our FPO lead card, and Deann Carey with a scorching second round is out in front. Raven Klein shot even during round 2. Emily Yale is new to the card here this weekend, and Stacie Rawnsley, who we saw on the feature card day number 1, well, she's back. Shelton Springs Disc Golf Course going to provide the venue and the playground for us out here today. Same course that we've seen over the previous 2 rounds. Hole 1, 270 feet. Trying to throw it pretty much dead straight. And if you're throwing a righty backhand shot, you just want it to fade out and finish at the end. I feel like if you're coming in around circle's edge, maybe get a skip to the pin. That should give you a look. Like the shot, albeit a little short. Somehow filters through, though, for Deann. Deann with a 7-stroke advantage over Raven here. As we said, not too bad of a shot still. Emily Yale. She's sitting at 2 over. She's had a very consistent couple of rounds to get her here onto this lead card. And Stacie Rawnsley, I think we saw her shoot a 3 over during round number 2. That goes on top of the even that she opened with. Tickles a few chains, and we see weather is kind of a mixture of what we had both days 1 and 2. It's not quite as windy as day 2, but we have the rain from day number 1. It's a little bit of both, and ultimately overcast, which is crazy because as you can see from the drone flyovers, Thursday during our final practice day, absolutely perfect and gorgeous out here. We saw the birdie by Stacie. A little work left for Deann, but she comes back, picks up the par. And Emily didn't want any messing around with her birdie look, so ultimately pitches next to the pin, and that's going to be a par. We move to hole number 2. 285 feet, just a couple of trees to beat initially out of the gap. From there, this is wide open. In fact, the most open hole on the course. If you go way deep into circle 2, you could go past the basket and then maybe down a little bit of a hill.
Sorry, I don't know where to. It's very cramped. Sorry.
Stacie just politely asking Emily maybe to step back a step or 2. I know some of the tee pads can feel a little congested sometimes. And even if you're standing still, just knowing someone's off to a side and within a certain proximity, I know can sometimes be a little distracting to you. So well played there by Stacie. Deann just barely misses the right side tree. Thus far, the hottest round of all competitors came from Deann in round 2. She started out getting 4 out of the first 5 for birdies, and then rattled off 4 more on 7, 8, 9, and 10, all en route to her 10 under for the round. It was incredible. Fortunately, we didn't have a camera on it. Oh no. Emily have a way to fight through, and she's still hung up over here on the left side. Emily, hailing out of Utah. Seen her out on the tour. Crazy to think that in 2022, she was runner-up at the Next Gen Championship, which was regarded as like an FA1, top AM division. And here she is out there on the tour, picking up some cash in 2023 as well as 2024 so far. We also saw Emily final round during the Shelley Sharp Memorial at the beginning of the year. Plays for Team Infinite. That's going to be a rough go here on the second hole, though. Not getting out of the gap clean and then fighting to get down there, and looks like she's going to be putting a couple extra strokes on the scorecard. Stacie, back-to-back birdies to open. Raven continues the par streak. I'm thinking that's 2 here. However, if I recall, she closed out with quite a few pars, and now I'm going to look back. That is 9, 10. She had 10 pars to close out the previous round. So 10 pars there, plus 2 more here to start. I think some quick math will tell you, what is that, 12 pars in a row here? And Deann's just thinking, man, if I par everything, somebody's going to have to shoot real hot to catch me. Well, maybe she's not thinking that, but the math would suggest as much. We head to hole 3, 660 feet. Has played as the easiest hole over the last 2 rounds. And we'll take a look at what it's doing here today. Round 1, it played as the easiest. Round 2, it did. And during round 3 here, it played as the second easiest. We'll see who can take advantage. And a little bit of a spoiler, it was the hole with the most birdies during the round. I don't know who got it here, but birdied more often than any other hole during the third. She'll push the left side hazard, but no real threat or danger over there. I like how that flexes back. It's going to be great positioning. I mean, I guess if you are looking for a slightly better shot, maybe she could have been more to the right to line up the gap just a little better, but some good carry before the tree hit. Just fine. She's back far enough. She'll have some trees to get around, but still should be able to get up to the basket and have a look for birdie. Stacie asking for the turn. Not quite getting it. Speaking of turns and Stacie, we thought we might be able to get her in on some of the commentary action. I'd love to have that happen. We'd love to have FPO also in on the commentary action. As I've said for a number of years on the channel, that's always one of the biggest challenges, though, is the timing of somehow getting commentary done in a timely manner so that we can get the videos out as quickly as possible, but still get special guests in. And when recording 2 rounds a day and trying to get those out as quickly as possible, sometimes it's just the math and there's not enough hours in the day sometimes. I should clarify, with a crew of our size, of 3, not quite enough hours. There's some other crews that certainly get it done. Yeah, this average .07 below par. Quite a few birdies out here. Fortunately, it doesn't look like Emily's going to be part of that club. 11 birdies on the day out of the 27-person division. And just like that, Stacie opens up with 3 consecutive birdies. She's got the turkey, and she's fought herself back to even par overall. Already flip-flopping positions with Emily. And now she'll remain just 1 behind Raven. However, Deann gets a birdie of her own, so she'll be 9 ahead of Stacie as we head to the 4th. Just 295 feet. I say just, but like so many of the other shots out here requiring incredible accuracy down the tunnels. Relatively open green on this one. Not much in front of it. Obviously a little bit of danger just behind, but plenty of space out in front. Little reset for Rawnsley. Whatever she's been doing, she should try and keep it rolling. Opens with 3 consecutive birdies. Not likely going to be a birdie from there, though. Just outside of the circle. We'll see what Raven can do. It's a little turn on it, and Raven skipping just in front of the basket. It's going to go almost 30 deep of the pin, but she'll still have the look. That's about as close to that tree as you can get. Does it flex back in time? It doesn't. It gets hung up.
Both of my legs. Just like a little like.
It sounded like Raven liked it better than Stacie did.
Butter. That's why it's yellow, right? Yeah. This is the butter. 100%.
I guess Raven doing the clever commentary and pun work for me and doing it much better. Saying that shot was butter and that's why the disc is yellow. Stacie just going along with it. It's not quite as hot of a start as Deann had yesterday. She was 3 down in the first 4. No need to apologize here. We can get all rowdy. I like it. Never apologize for a birdie. Great putt by Raven. Confident stroke there for Deann. You have to think sometimes people will say having a huge lead can almost feel like there's more pressure, as crazy as that sounds, but you're thinking, well, I've got such a big lead. There's no way I should collapse. It'd be so embarrassing and incredible if I did. There's some different feels, I think, when you're out in front by a lot, thinking about what others would say if you end up failing or faltering. So if she has any nerves in any capacity, it seems like she's contained them so far as we head to the 5th. 535 feet. It's all about a landing zone. And if you don't hit the landing zone perfectly, is there something you can do or manufacture to still get yourself in position? I feel like you need to bite off quite a bit and get into good position on this particular par 4. Hole 5, not an easy one by any means. In fact, the third most difficult hole on the course.
Nice. Thank you. Right off the hand.
And almost 50% of the field have taken some form of bogey here. And Deann, she's going to have some work to do and see if she can salvage or somehow scrape up at least a par from there.
That's a throwback, man. To like. Thank you. It's the whole follow-through thing, you know?
Cut down late, but that wasn't far off from being nearly perfect. Little scramble action, and that's still going to be quite a ways back. Par might be in jeopardy here. This is her third.
Oh, I know. It's just that hers. That was beautiful. I see you just getting frustrated every time you try to do jazz. That's pretty. Thank you.
Yeah, still a long way to go. So, Deann, who's 1 under for the round, might be giving that one back.
Hell yeah. These bugs be trying to fight though.
That was spelled H-E-Y, so it was not a cuss.
Because the FCC won't let me be. I don't know. Where are you going with this, Raven? I often find when I'm playing well, I have a particular song or two in my head. Just keep repeating as we're watching Raven lace one down there. That's a question for you guys in the comments, is whether or not you're listening to earbuds, and that's a whole other argument for another day we could have. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just thinking, are you... is there a song in your head? A tune, a jingle? Could it be a commercial? I don't know.
Oh, thank you. They're the best in the rain. Like
That's what I'd love to know. Or in fact, you try and block out any other kind of distraction or anything of that nature. And Deann with her fourth. Bogey looks likely here coming up. Stacie opens with 3 consecutive birdies, picks up the bogey on 4, and now saves the par on 5.
Thanks. Yes. Great touch. Thank you.
A great par save for Emily. The birdie on the previous hole ended the multi-round par streak that she had going, but now doing it in the right way. If you're going to end a par streak, back-to-back birdies on 4 and 5 is a good way to do it. Raven, the only birdie in the entire FPO division. 27 women getting after it in round 3. Raven, the only birdie. Shove the tee as we head to 6. Just about 100 meters. We got a basket that has some guardian trees around it. Pretty common theme. Also, a Mando can come into play. You see that orange sign up on the top left. Yeah, that's 8 meters. Can Raven get her 3rd in a row? She started the day 7 behind Deann. Now she's just 5 back.
That was me. Oh. It was a bird. I literally thought it was like someone way off in the distance. Like.
Huh? What? Squirrel? There's some distractions out here for them. Not the greatest. Well, if she's in the bush and she's trying to get her leg out, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. However, she also lost a good 10 or 12 feet, so I'm not sure if that was considered a good roll or not. And Deann's off to the right-hand side. Deann even for the round, just one birdie, one bogey. And that looks like a tap-in par coming up. That's at least 12, maybe 15 feet that she lost off that rollback out of that bush. Emily, a chance to save her par. Emily comes into the event with an 892 rating. Oh, there it is. 3 in a row for Raven. And again, shaving another stroke. 4 back of Deann.
Another one.
Nothing but confidence for Stacie's par putt. And Deann also in for the par. Pretty soon she's going to hear some of these Raven footsteps if she keeps it going. We head to the 7th. Pretty open here with the right to left crosswind that'll probably be pushing them over. And we've seen that crosswind push Dis over to the left side out of bounds. And that's happened in both rounds 1 and 2. Clearly going deep doesn't do you any good. Raven made a long putt on this one yesterday for the birdie.
I mean, I feel like that's a circle one. It's just a little. Yeah,
Okay, a little closer than yesterday's look. Feels like it'll be short because it is 50 feet or so to the pin yet. Off in the neighborhood where we see Ravens.
Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way.
All right, they're singing something I don't even think I know, which isn't necessarily saying much. I know I'm considerably older, but an obstructed circle 2 look for Stacie there. An unobstructed circle 2 look now for Deann.
Good bid.
9 meters for Raven, a little closer than yesterday.
Yes,
That one's in. Back-to-back birdies from the right side over there from Raven on rounds 2 and 3. Let me get my tracker out. What is that? That's 4 in a row? And has pulled within 3 of Deann. And everything I was just saying a few holes ago about the idea of, you know, a little extra pressure when you come in with a large lead, that has to start kind of creeping into your mind as Raven is on fire. Raven is essentially doing similar things to what Deann did in round 2 when we didn't have her on camera. And with Deann just at even, she's got to be thinking about the momentum being in Raven's favor. That's so Raven. All right, we head to 8. 555 feet. Wide open till this point, and then just a short tunnel or two that can bring you all the way into the basket. You saw the big sign on the tree. That is not a Mando. I believe it was played as one in the 2023 version. But it is not a Mando. There is an a hazard area marked off on that right-hand side. So they're really trying to keep you away from over there, it appears. I'm not sure that's my favorite feature. Just because if there's a hazard on the right side, I don't know why there isn't one then also on the left. I mean, if there was some endangered species or some commonly standing water or something, then I think it would make more sense to me, but lots of different options to play with. Yeah, I'm trying to convince it to get over to the left. Just beat the tree. Rude is the phrase. Looks so good. Raven working off 4 straight birdies. That one's going to be low. It looks like it's got past everything, though, so at least it'll give her a chance. We've seen her make putts of that distance in the last few holes. Deann manages to get all the way through the shortcut. However, that's still circle 2. There's some of the hazard area that I was just referencing. And another rollback. Emily thinking if she hadn't connected with that late tree, I think she would have been inside the circle with a much better looking birdie look. Stacie not connecting at all from that deep or mid to circle 2 range. She's had a handful of opportunities. Deann hasn't birdied in quite some time. All the way back on hole number 3 now. Low. To bring it within 2. Raven. Another birdie on the scorecard. That is 5 in a row. I don't believe what we're seeing. I think back to Deann's round yesterday. Through 8 holes, she was 6 under, and she'd go on and get holes 9 and 10. So she was 8 under through 10. So having an incredible round and ultimately finished 10 under. Right now, Raven has 5 birdies in the last 5 holes, and she's 5 under through 8. She keeps up this pace. She just might be catching Deann. We head to the 9th, almost halfway through this round. 290 feet, playing as the easiest hole on the course today. Yesterday, it was the second easiest. Today, the easiest relative to par. Dialed. Wow, and just underneath it.
Thank you. This is like my favorite hole in the course.
It should be our favorite hole. We were about, I don't know, 12 inches too low from it possibly getting over the rim and in. It looked like it went right underneath the basket.
Great shot. Oh, rude. That was the train rolled back.
An extra 8 to 10 feet that Emily would like to have back there. Another rude roll away here. Oh, the exact The exact opposite comes for Carey. It's a kick that brings her 8 or 10 feet closer to the pin. Stacie.
Oh, sneak.
Oh, basket hunting as well.
Dang.
Whoa, okay.
She's definitely got away with one on that.
Hey, we take those, and we don't even question it. We just go, you guys.
More strategy. I'd be listening to whatever Raven's got to say today. Stacie will pick up another birdie. That moves her to 2 under on today's round. Why does she have to pretend to mark it? I'm confused. Why? It doesn't matter. She's not.
Probably me.
Another birdie. She's within 1 of Deann. That's 6 birdies in a row for Raven. And just like that, the lead is 2 again, but for a moment there, all the way down to a single stroke. We head to the 10th, 505 feet. Plays out into the field, and then you turn around and you come back into the woods. So kind of like I was going to say like a horseshoe. I mean, in theory, how it goes out and back. More like a boomerang look, like an actual boomerang where it, has a peak, plays out, and then kind of comes back in. Not quite as exaggerated as an actual horseshoe. Things that fly. We'll go with boomerang. Suppose you throw horseshoes too, don't you? Safe, but more distance to carry to the pin on the second shot.
Whoa, come on.
Yeah, that's a rough kick off to the left side.
Okay.
Reset for Rawnsley. She's had a few of those. I don't know if we can quite go hashtag reset Rawnsley yet, but she has had a number of them, and that one doesn't fight all the way through. Too much turn on Deann's. I mean, she's going to come up short. Emily going to the forehand. Oh, and misses everything. On the dance floor. That's a birdie look. Can Raven keep it going? What has she got, 6 in a row?
Incoming.
Okay, well, now we see where she's at. She'll need to try and convert from circle 2. And that's actually a hazard. I don't have a hazard indicator, but Stacie, maybe a little frustration here. Inside the hazard. So here's where, again, you play from that spot with penalty. There's a hazard marking on 8. There's also one on 3. That's the first place that we saw it. And I'd hazard to guess Stacie's not really loving it right now. Mm-hmm. 6 birdies in a row, mostly with solid putting. Does she have another one? Yeah, she does. Cue up Alicia Keys. This girl's on fire. I don't know what else to say. She has 7 consecutive birdies. Dejected Rawnsley, a triple bogey. Emily, looking for a birdie of her own. I can understand the blurted frustration. And there it is. 1 stroke difference as we head to the 11th. This has gotten, I don't want to say this has just gotten interesting. It's been great. But knowing now you move to an island hole, if you miss the island, you go to the drop zone, almost a guaranteed bogey. And if you're on the island, a really good chance to walk away with a 2. 7 birdies in a row coming from Klein. Oh no, pulled to the right. Doesn't give her a chance to get it onto the island. So she goes to drop zone. How does Deann answer? Almost perfectly.
All right. Let's go.
So just like that, a huge potential for a 2-stroke swing. Just when Raven gets within 1, we may see a significant swing in Deann's favor. Oh, and after the skip, it stays in bounds. Just, oh no, just barely over the top. Spotter accidentally initially giving a green indicator. So we'll see both Stacie and Raven. The putter's been hot, but not hot enough to make one from there. So after 7 consecutive birdies, Raven is going to end that streak with a bogey here on the 11th. And we feel the rain picking up.
At least I put that one in the air. Heck yeah.
Big moment for Deann.
There you go. Good 2.
Great 2. She's only got 3 birdies on the day. She's got 3 birdies and a bogey. But that might be one of the most comfortable ones that she could have possibly got, as Raven was within 1 of her, and now we'll fall back to 3 behind her. There's some wily veteran moves there. Pro tip. Pole or stick or whatever that she has with her, cut to exactly 1 meter. So there's never a question as to whether or not, is that a little more? How big are your feet? You know, is it 3 steps or 4 steps or 3.5 and everything else? Just put that little stick down and you're good to go. Little breathing room at the moment for Deann.
Hold it. There's a rest of that.
I don't think you could throw a much better tee shot. Maybe Raven does. Okay, that one kicks out a little bit, but I think I'd still take Emily's over Raven's in this case. Both still good shots, don't get me wrong. And right now, it feels like it's a two-woman race with Raven and Deann significantly pulling out in front of everyone else. Deann started the day that way, but Raven distancing herself from the card mates as well. She'll have a look, but a long-range one at that for Carey's birdie. Haven't seen a lot of forehands, and that one looked really good. It got caught up at the very end of the flight, but it still looked pretty good. That's Rawnsley, I believe, pitching out. Get around and Carey down. Certainly a theme. Just when you feel like you've thrown a really good shot on this course, sometimes it's that back tree that you maybe don't even see when you're getting things ready. And just when you think you've gotten all the way there, you clip an ending tree, and then it kicks the opposite way of the basket. Next thing you know, you've got a circle's edge putt. Deann's drawing a ton of metal, and this time, left side corner pocket. I was just thinking, she's been all over the basket. Pew, pew. Uh-oh. Oh, she's pulling out the finger guns? She didn't have much of a lane, but enough to get it all the way through and the power. I don't want to be on anyone's car that's pulling out the finger guns. You're in big trouble then.
There you go.
7 birdies in a row. Then the bogey on the island hole comes back to 12 with the par. And we also see a par out of Emily. Bonus action, though, coming out of Deann from way downtown. Hole number 12 plays in the middle of the pack, and there weren't too many birdies, just 4 of them, and Deann was one of them. Hole 13, one of my favorites out here. Well, okay, I'm just copying what Alden Harris says. He says it's one of his favorites, and I really can't argue with him. We're seeing the alternative route, and we're seeing it pay off.
Yes. That's a good shot. Thanks.
Well, 13 is averaging over par at .22.
So did I.
It looked really good.
I mean, I still loved it out of my hand. Like, it didn't work, but...
You know hole 5 at Foxrun? Probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so. It's probably good. It kind of filters through everything, and just about bullseye hit there for Rawnsley. Can this stay clean? No. Well, she's going to put the putter to the test, and most of her makes have been, you know, just inside circle 1. This one's just a step inside circle 2.
Thank you.
As we hold our breath, but that looks like a bogey coming up for Raven. So much momentum built over those 7 birdie holes in a row. And Deann's got a chance to pick up 1 or 2 here if she can convert. Oh, and she draws metal. Wow, that got some crazy play off the either the wood or something else that it even got to that far. I expected it to be well inside the bullseye. Nonetheless, it's a birdie for Stacie. That's going to be a 2-stroke swing between Stacie and Raven. Emily's in for the par. Currently riding a little bit of a par train herself.
I don't want that song in my head, so I'm not acknowledging it. Did you go to Get Low? Is that what I heard?
Oh, see, okay, so they're talking about songs in their head. Oh, that's kind of fits the question I asked earlier. That's I had no idea that actually they were talking about that. As we head to the 14th, this one's beastly. Sure, it says just 540 feet, but it has given us some pretty significant challenges in the first 2 rounds.
There you go.
Averaging a third of a stroke over par.
Yep. Oh, rude. That was me. Yep. Sorry. I thought you beat it already.
She yupped her. I mean, often it's, you say you nice to someone. I've never heard of somebody getting yupped.
Nice.
Oh, okay, there's the answer. there's the callback there, calling for the nice. Seeing if...
Hang on. Okay. That thing flew. It did, yeah.
Yeah, not the intended route, but didn't hit much. So Raven, well, be in business.
Stacie?
Now she just got pured. Yes, please.
Thank you.
Well, there's your preview of how to get to the pin on the second shot. As Raven answer, no, a late tree. It's tough to count any of her putting opportunities out. However, the last one was from almost 66 feet. So we'll see what she can do with this one. She's going to be a little closer than that this time. Stacie will have a birdie luck. Guys hustling around out here all weekend long. Big thanks to both Elijah and Justin. Go subscribe to their disc golf channels. Those are linked below in the description of this video. Yeah, and that's also way out in that 60-foot range. Of course, the Mason County Disc Golf Club. I got a pleasure of walking around with one Mark Hill before he headed out of town. So just everyone. Mark just happens to be one of the guys that I was able to go take it in as he was getting the course prepped as Stacie takes advantage. So big shout out to everyone there. And then ultimately, Discraft, our presenting sponsor, along with Jeff Corns and his entire crew and everyone else that helped make this possible. Super honored to not only see the property, but to have these 6 rounds recorded here. Worked with Alden on the MPO side. Excuse me, the MPO side on the commentary. That went off really well. Big shout out to Alden. Really appreciate that.
It's usually longer than you want.
Yeah, and so now with the jackrabbit, I'm like, oh, I don't have to worry about it going so far past.
Yeah.
A little disc talk.
I feel the bird.
Woohoo!
Emily!
Nice.
Emily with the birdie. There were 5 birdies on this hole today. You just saw 40% of them. That quick math means that Emily and Stacie were 2 out of the 5. We head to the 15th. Shortest hole in the tournament, averaging just 3.04 as a total. So 3rd easiest on the day. Let's see if they can take advantage. Yeah, she did. Stacie trying to get something going. We saw her with the turkey to open the third round here earlier. Getting 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. No.
Okay. No. Okay.
Can't decide if we like that or not.
Instant acceptance. I want.
Prior to the birdie on the previous hole, Emily had kind of quietly put together 11 pars in a row.
That works.
She's a fighter.
It's up there.
Deann will have the look for birdie. Let's see if Raven can answer. Raven's going to need something special if she wants to reapply any significant pressure.
In a bush.
She got within 1 as they headed into the 11th hole. But then there was a 2-stroke swing, and Deann walked away with a 3-stroke advantage by the time they were done with 11. Okay, well, seems like Deann's trying to close the door here as quickly as possible. Just 3 holes left to play.
Let's go, Raven Klein.
Oh, CrossFit does not teach you how to fight. Unless you go to be Emily's.
It'll teach me to be strong in a way.
So Raven's got the putter going again. Picks up the birdie here on the 15th.
Come here.
That's her 8th birdie of the round.
Come here.
Are these guys going to fight? We're going to have to find out on the 16th. 310 feet. Couple different options here. Of course, it's all about hitting the gap. A little more, we'll say, open air on the green here. A little more space out here. Does she have the distance? Not quite.
Violently.
But I think she's going to have plenty of room to work with. She's not at all congested over there. Uh-oh. Calling this perfect. Is it?
That was good.
I was gonna say you nice to me, but you didn't.
It ain't bad. It ain't perfect, but it's certainly not bad. Deann's working off the birdie on the previous hole, hole 15.
Keep holding. Keep holding.
That's not that
Yeah, that... Well, okay, that was flexing out. I was going to say that tree kick appeared to be a good one.
Oh, God.
Inner line, let's go.
Oh, let's get it.
Good shot. Ice. Got ice. Let's go.
Calling for the inner line?
Go before we lose it. No man left behind.
I don't know that I've ever heard that one. To be fair, Raven's also 100 times more creative than I could ever be, so we'll go with whatever she says. Stacie and Emily right near one another. It's just a matter of, are they going to find themselves on the podium or maybe a few spots off? Either way, they should be clawing for every stroke they can, knowing that we've got a chase card that's also pretty close overall in total score. Count it. All right, all right. Deann just trying to lock this thing completely up. And any shred of hope that she was going to maybe leave out there for Raven seems to be closing in. And just brutal. Her putter's been so hot. I would have bet $100 on her making that one. I mean, I don't bet. I mean, of course, I'm all on the up and up, and nothing that I do would ever impact any scores or outcomes.
I know. I hate that I was aware of it.
Yeah.
That's the worst part.
Don't audit me. We head to the 17th. 325 feet. Imagine that. Tunnel shot for the most part. You're trying to push it with a little bit of a hyzer angle, and then you really just want it to flatten as you get closer to the basket. See a little bit of a slope down to the right side, and that got caught up early.
You're next. Yeah. And then it's me.
We saw the slope on both 15 and 17's greens. We saw them really punish a couple of our players. Holly Finley, unfortunately, comes to mind after she didn't connect, and then ultimately took a few putts to get back and forth. And that little bit of slope that's over there, along with some of the canopy, can provide plenty of challenge.
Money. So good. Oh, so good. Get in.
It was like 50 short, but I appreciate that.
Emily keeping it real. She knows where her disc is. Trying to tamper some of the enthusiasm that comes from her card mates. And Raven throws that one low and into the ground.
Oh my goodness, Raven.
And right now, even though Raven isn't making a run at Deann, and Deann's locking things up, it appears, if she's keeping track of the scores whatsoever, Kat Murch is up ahead, and she has a birdie look on the 18th hole for a 9-under final round. A 9-under would bring her to 4-under for the overall score. So Raven does have to kind of consider how things are going to finish out here in the next couple of holes if she's paying attention to the scores.
Oh, she ran it. Come on. Oh, that was a layup. That was a glorified layup.
Glorified layup. No, I definitely tried to run it.
It's okay.
I was like, ultimately, you have to make it past this first street.
You don't have to let us know all your secrets, Emily.
That was a full layup. No shame.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. No glory either.
Stacey's gonna lay up for the par.
All right, no glory either.
I guess there's never a doubt as to what's going on in the minds of our competitors here.
Dang it, I wanted that for you.
It looked good.
I've completely
It did look good.
That would have been Deann to save her par, so she's going to give one back to the field. Stacie taps in for the par. She'll sit at 2 over going into the final round, or the final hole, excuse me. And Raven needs this to remain at 6 under. And moments ago, Kat Murch is in for the birdie, a bogey-free 9 under during the final round. So last year's champion, Kat Murch, claws her way back with a 9 under bogey-free round. She sits at 4 under. So Raven has currently 2 strokes on her as she goes into her final hole. Deann, on the other hand, this is just a little semantics here, trying to close things out. Here we are, the 54th hole of competition. Doesn't appear that a playoff scenario is imminent, unless something wild happens, and I have seen crazier stuff, so I'm not just saying. But right now, Deann Carey seems to be in a comfortable lead.
Fairway, kind of.
Sure. We'll call that left side fairway, kind of. An extra skip and a jump doesn't do any good for Emily. Emily 1 over on today's round.
That's all right. Just gotta throw it in.
She just has to throw it in. I don't know if she thinks that's going to get her tied back up with Deann, but I don't even a throw in right now wouldn't be enough unless Deann throws a whole bunch of extra shots. Emily cutting the corner? She's trying to, and it almost gets back out to the center of the fairway. It's going to be short left side, but good forward progress. She should be calling for that inner route.
Yeah, because we were in high.
Deann in good position. Stacie seeing if she can possibly stay ahead of Emily here. Raven hoping to avoid double bogey. If so, she could be on the podium in second. And that's her third. This is a par 4 to close it out. And that looks like it should do it. Deann just outside of bullseye, sitting on quite a few strokes. And you got to say, that second round of hers just killing it as she shot the 10 under during the second round. In fact, I think had a 19-stroke swing between her and then the then leader in Kat Murch. Kat Murch comes back with an incredible final round here, shooting 9 under. However, it's not going to be enough after her really rough second round. Like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. I'd love any comments or feedback you guys have. If you're going to say, hey, get a fellow FPO co-commentator, that I already agree with and would love to make happen if the timing of it can all work out next time. So, or even have 2 FPO commentators, I'd be all about that. I don't need to be involved. You guys hear enough of me. But if you have any other feedback or thoughts, please share it with us. Support the guys that help me out on the cameras, Justin and Elijah. This is a Disc Golf Pro Tour Q Series event. If you need to know what that means or what that's all about, you can also find that in the description. So big shout out to Jeff Corns, along with our Mason County Disc Golf Club, for welcoming us back to this incredible facility and property. And I know I'd love to return in any capacity. So let's hope that we keep seeing big events continue out here. Raven, solid effort. That's going to be a second place finish. Congrats to Raven. Emily will finish in 6th. And your champion of the 2024 Discraft Cascade Challenge, Deann Carey.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Discraft Cascade Challenge champion, Deann Carey.
I'm excited to catch up with her. Here's your champ, Deann Carey. I'm the Disc Golf Guy, and that was my video blog. Joined here by our champion and Deann Carey. Deann, first of all, where does one go buy the turbo booster that you purchased on Friday night to go from your play out here Friday into Saturday and Sunday? What was the difference?
I knew Saturday was going to be the best scoring day. Friday we had some crappy weather, but I knew Saturday was going to be the day to like make moves if I needed them. But I knew I could shoot good out here, and I just tried not to let the little things bother me, and ended up shooting good.
Good is an understatement. 1036 unofficially rated, a 12-stroke improvement from the day before. Is there any other secret to it? Is there any mental reset or physical reset? Anything you did that you did on Saturday morning when you came back out?
Nope, pretty much all the same. I do the same thing every day. I do play with music in, so I don't think about disc golf too much, but it's really just vibing with your card and just not letting the little things get to you.
Well, it was an incredible performance, especially over rounds 2 and 3 for you. What does it mean for you to pick up a victory like this?
It means a lot. I definitely have not been playing the greatest this year so far, so to have that little confidence booster going into the rest of the season is pretty great.
All right. Well, anything you want to say to the world that was out here taking in the coverage over the last few days?
I want to shout out Lone Star Disc for everything that they do for us and supporting us on the road. My husband's been out here all week, hanging out, making sure that we're good. And all of the girls, Raven gave me a really big battle today. She scared the crap out of me, but it was great.
Well, if anyone's going to do the scaring, it's you and your trophy, everyone. This is Deann Carey, your champion here at the 2024 Cascade Challenge presented by Discraft.